Showroom sales management. We will be discussing on this topic in today's presentation. So agenda, simple, straightforward. This will be a very short presentation because we are talking about showroom sales, nothing else. So strategic corporate sales planning. We will talk about the pre-approach, the prospects mental steps, overview of the selling process thereby. Remember, this is the showroom if you want to go around it. I just cannot, or I just do not want it to give a showroom of a car or of anything for per se, probably of a property or about any tiles, floorings, and things like that, because then people will view me as bit partial. So I have given you a small pick. Imagine this is a perfect showroom which is available. It's a free market, and in this particular showroom we have a seller and we have a buyer. Now there is a dearth which has to be put forward this by the call something called trust. If we can build upon this trust, and that is what we can go around it. Remember, only through trust can be supported to bridge the gap between people. So how do you build trust? The question is, how do we build trust? The only way to build trust is to be honest enough, be truthful enough, be transparent enough. So then there is this bridge that comes around it. There is this pillar that supports it, and it helps to mitigate any preconceived notion that a person can have altogether. So yes, this is what we will be talking. My seller comes around in the picture in the showroom as a person. The seller is the person who is the owner of the showroom, right? He will always be the first person to chip in. Therein it comes the buyer. Now they are looking into it, the process of crossing, whether this is a trout that they needs to cross, and do they have enough amount of trust? What to build a trust? The seller which actually move on, and this will enable the buyer to move on and probably be a party to it, and that is how this particular set comes out automatically, and this is how a sale has to be mitigated, and we see everybody smiling in the course. So the pre-approach involves, remember, we what we have been talking about it is prospecting is the pre-approach that comes around it. Then comes the approach, the presentation, the trial close, the if there are any objections by the buyers or the prospect, remove those objections in your presentation, probably in your product, probably in your services. Work around the objection. Then again go for presentations, right? Again go for presentation and try to close the trial. Trial close has to be there, and it will successfully lead. If this process is not repeated, again do it twice, quite a number of times as well. Determine the object and remove those objects. Until and unless you come to the ninth step of closing the deal. Once the deal has been closed, you should be always be following it up. These are the 10 steps that needs to be taken care of. With the pre-approach involves the planning and the sales presentation. Remember, strategic problem solving involves strategic requirements and the creative of the creative solution, which is should be mutually beneficial as and when agreed upon it. This is what we are looking forward to. How do we proceed and how do we move forward? Consultative selling is of the customer relationship model. We talk about customer strategic needs, how, what exactly is it all about it. We talk about the salesperson's creative solution. Do we need to go about it? Should it be the right path? So where are we? So customer strategic needs and salesperson's creative solution. We are together in tandem working with being a mutually beneficial agreement. So long-term relationships, it should build into a long-term relationships, which should actually lead to a performance, cost, productivity, sales, and profit. So consultative selling is what we are looking into it. Remember, in the showroom, people will be talking to one another. So you have the customer needs, you have the salespeople's creative approaches to the solution, which should be mutually benefiting both the sales fellow and the customer. Forge a long-term relationship in terms of cost, productivity, sales, and profits that is there. So let us proceed with the planning for the sales call. The pre-approach continue. The first planning is to build enough confidence, have enough confidence about your product, about your service, about the price point that we're talking about it, and determine, probably develop atmosphere of goodwill. This will reflect professionalism. This will generally increase sales per se. This will ensure that you are on the right path as the passage can be. We should move to the next. element of the steps, we will talk about the pre-approach selling. We will be talking about the planning, how to make and force the sale thereby. First and foremost thing is your sales calls objective. You should be clear about it, what you are expecting, why the interaction is being proceeding. Before going through the interaction, can you have a little bit of a homework as to what kind of person that you would be interacting with respect to the customer profile? Review them and develop what will make the customer attracted towards the product. So draw the FAB benefit, which is of feature, advantages, and benefit. Draw to the customer benefits, and thereby develop the sales presentation. Thereby put in your pitch in the showroom for the sale that comes around. So have a sales call objective as the first thing. The pre-call objectives have more than one. Need not be one, but more than one. Because you need to be flexible. At the same time, you need to focus that the sales should not be lost to any other accounts anyway. So customer, focus on your efforts on the objective that you are with, probably with the customers. Be prepared to switch on to another objective if needed. Make the goal specific. Move customer conversations towards the objective. Set a smart call objective as the case might be. As what we are looking, make the goal specific. Make the customer be the center of the conversations towards the objective. Set smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic time call objective as the case might be. We have been telling it to you about the determining sales objective. Did I say smart objective? We should have the smart being specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound or time called objective as the case might be. Let us move to the second step of developing and reviewing the customer profile as the case might be. Here we are here to understand what kind of person are we interacting with. So review the information to create a customized presentation, because it is the acumen of the person should be stirred. It should You should ensure that the customer is being focused upon and his right thought bones are being um, tickled. So see what customer has done in the past to determine what probably would be the future requirements. If you do not have a customer profile, get one or try to have an understanding of what a similar kind of customers are already looking for. Now is the time where you have to develop customer benefits. Thereby, you need to ensure how the customer will benefit with your interaction with your product, as the case might be. Steps, what we are looking into it. Steps in creating a customer benefit plan. How do we come across with it? Step one is select the fab. Fab, F for feature, A for advantages, B for benefits of the product. Discuss about the fab. Select the fab for your marketing plan discussion. Select for business proposition discussion as the case might be. Develop suggested purchase order based on the first three steps. What? Only on the first three steps. Determine sales call objective as the case there we develop review customer profile, develop customer benefits, develop sales presentation as the case might be. We are talking anything and everything as respect to the salespersons, nothing else. So write the fab from step 1 to 3 that we are talking about it. Step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is this. So write out all the fabs for step 1 to 3 before you come with the sales presentation. Write exactly what is to be expected in the suggested purchase order. Now probably you are almost done. Now, I'm sure your presentation will be effective and will have a lasting impact altogether. So, major phases in your presentation. Let us go with the 7 steps that we go around with the sequencing of presentation, developing a sales presentation. First, approach is all about rapport building, all about uncovering the needs, the hidden, the latent needs of the customers or the prospect. Attention, interest, and transition is what we would aspire to look into. Next is all about discussing your product. Now is the time when you are presenting your product as in the fab benefit, the features, the advantages, and the benefit thereby. Third will be your present marketing plan as to how the customer will be benefited out to you, how to resell to the reseller, how to utilize for the consumer and the industrial uses. That is what we are looking into it. This is where the marketing effort comes in. Explain your business in step 4, your business, your proposition. What is it in for the customers, in for your customers? How does they benefit getting associated with you as your company's product. Suggest purchase orders approximately, give them alternatives of equated monthly installment, and down payment discounts, what we are talking about, recommend what you can buy, what you can fill in, what you can uncover in the presentation, and probably ask for closure. Right now is this where you need to have an engagement with the customers altogether. In things, in all certainties, you should be able to make a closer of your sales. The sales would eventually happen around it. We come to the last terms of exit. Never, in case the sale doesn't happen, never give up. Act as a professional and leave the door open. Never burn your bridges. Remember, I repeat on saying never burn your bridges. The customer may not become your customer. The prospect may not have become a customer this time, but there is always a next time that comes around it. So keep that in your mind before you process around it. In a planning presentation, you should consider what? You should consider the mental steps of the person altogether, what the person is going through, what would be prospect will be thinking when you are giving your presentation. These are the things that needs to be understood and never undermined. Remember. The prospect's five mental steps, what are they? It is of idea that we comes around it. Attention, interest, desire, conviction, and purchase. So you have to grab their attention, create an inquiry as an interest in there, and probably aspire and let the aspirations of desire take shapes. Convince them that this is at the right price point and they are getting a good deal about it, and before they will actually make a purchase. So there are five mental steps in per buying: attention, interest, desire, conviction, and purchase, as the case might. How do you obtain someone's attention? Let us proceed with these five steps before we wind up this presentation completely. Remember, it is a showroom sales management that we are talking around here. Show that you are there to help, because it's a showroom thing. You are not going to run away. The showroom is going to be existing. That we are completely accessible altogether. The proper approach is very important. Your goal is to determine the need or the problem, as the case might be. This is what we are looking forward to. Now, how to come to and build upon interest when you are presenting this? Let us understand. Show that you are able to be present out there altogether, as the process might be. So we have what need to be understood time and again. That is what we are looking into it. Quickly present the major fabs, that is all about the features, the advantage and the benefits that comes around it. That what fulfills the need of the customer, that which solves the problems of the customer. Now, how do we build upon desires? This is very pertinent. Remember, we have to implement the innate desires in the customers. Now, show that you are there to help altogether as on when on basis. Using our trial clauses, determine if the prospect is interested in the benefits. If there are, people will believe me or not, they will come back to you no matter what the things. You just have to ignite the flame of desire in the customer. Watch that for the non-verbal side. Probably what they say, utter it from their mouth, might not be the same thing in what they will be displaying with their behavior. So watch for that non-verbal sign within them. It is green, which says it might they are interested and they will come with it. Yellow, which is they are going to come to you probably in on all possibilities, but it will take time. And red, which means probably they are not able to uh, come with the ambit or the fact that this particular product is actually as convincing as it seems sounding. So that is what we need to understand with the desire concepts altogether. Let us understand the conviction. How do you establish a conviction that the problem will be solved by the product that you are going to there? So behave, believe me, and probably ensure that you are not going to be there for the customers that come what may. Let the customer see how your product and fabs will solve their needs and problem. Your trial closes will reveal whether the customer is ready to buy or not, whether the person is convicted of the statement that you've come across with, or whether they're convinced how beneficial the product will eventually become. So how did you know? Let us come to the end result of this thing is the purchase order. So how do you know that the customer is ready to purchase? First and foremost, the trial close response will give non-verbal sign. They will be excited. They will be figure out their finances. They will be understanding the. They will be talking about the payment methods. They will. There will be other telltale signs that will show that the product will fulfill their needs, and they are more interested to make as investment, or should I say, a purchase thereby. So let us come to the penultimate slide of the presentation overview of the selling process. Getting the prospect attention and interest by having the prospect recognize the problem of need, stating a wish to fulfill the need is what we are looking forward to. Uncovering and answering the prospect questions and revealing and meeting or overcoming objection result is more intense desire. Desire is transformed into conviction that a product can fulfill the prospect needs or solve problem. Carefully planning of the sales call is essential as the case might be. What are we looking into it? How do we go about it? Sales call planning is having a sales call called SMART, develop, review the customer profile and develop the customer benefit plan. This is what we are exactly looking forward to. Sales call planning is very important. Ensure that your SMART objectives is there. Ensure you are in handy with the customer profiling. You ensure what is how it is the customer is going to benefit eventually when they purchase your product or avail your services. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching the presentation of showroom sales management.